Hey everyone, it's Minty, and earlier today I was looking through some old art and I found these two characters that I designed in August of 2019. I thought they had some potential with the cute dragons and the funky hair, so here I am drawing them, but we're going to change them up slightly and make it a whole lot more interesting. This is just me adding in the protective sheet so that I can colour without worrying about bleed through, and the first colours that I grabbed were from this bunch of greens and blues, because I'm starting off with a girl that I named Ivy Ray, and she has all these different bluey green tones in her hair in streaks. I didn't include much of the sketching process because it actually took me quite a while to get the hair right. Yes, I know, it's literally just straight hair, but for some reason I find that the hardest because I always want to show volume in the hair, and when it's straight I find that it looks pretty flat. I shouldn't have worried about it though because it's easy to add more depth with the shading. Both of these characters have little baby dragons, and since I drew this a while ago, I'm not sure why. I probably just thought it was cute at the time. But if you guys have any ideas for why they have dragons, then comment down below. I guess they could just be pets, or maybe they train dragons. I think that there could be a potential storyline in there somewhere, but I'm not sure where to start without it being too Pokemon or How to Train Your Dragon. I decided to go with some fun, colourful skin tones since I didn't colour them in the original drawing, and I went with green for Ivy because that seems to be her main colour. But in the early stages of colouring, she was giving me zombie vibes, and that was quite the opposite of what I was aiming for. So I kept adding some brighter tones, I added a little bit more of the turquoisey colour, and I ended up with something a lot more cute than scary. For the top, I stuck to the same light purple colour as the original drawing had, but I didn't do anything too interesting with the clothes because I wasn't planning on doing a full body, since the skin and the hair is the main focus here. If I end up liking these characters though, then I might possibly do full body versions and design some unique outfits, but for now I'll keep it basic, especially since I don't know what kind of environment they're in or anything, so I wouldn't have anything to guide me about what type of clothes they should wear, and I don't even have many personality traits down for them, so it would be kind of hard. I still felt like Ivy was looking too bland, so I went by my life motto, when in doubt, add highlights, and it worked out! All I did was add a bunch of sparkles in white gel pen all over the hair and a few on the skin, and that did the trick. When I draw sparkles, it's pretty straightforward. I simply draw a couple of cross-shaped shines in random places and surround each one by a few dots of white. And that's Ivy Ray done. Now let's move on to the first dragon, which is Ivy's green one, and its name is Fern. The two names Ivy and Fern are based off of green plants, so I'm thinking Ivy probably has plant powers or something. Either way, it seems to be a pretty important aspect of their story, so if I ever think of something, that will be part of it. And you may have noticed that the eyebrows are a little different in this drawing. I was going to draw them in my usual style, but I just loved the vibe that these blocky eyebrows gave to the original drawing, so I included them again. I think it makes it a little more cartoony and shows that they're not human, if the green skin wasn't obvious enough. The original dragons were cute, but honestly, really boring. I stuck with the same style of dragon with the spiky heads, but I made sure to give each one something unique. For Fern, I matched it with Ivy Ray by adding sparkles all over it, and I also drew some spots on the skin to make it look slightly less plain. The original one did have spots on it as well, but I think there was only a few, and I just added more of them this time. The dragons were also a lot smaller in the original drawing, and I think I prefer it that way, but I drew them bigger in this version so that I had more space to experiment with the idea and show the details. I'm also trying to fill my pages better in the sketchbook, so sizing them up definitely helped with that. The idea of tiny dragons is so cool to me because they're traditionally meant to be huge, so just imagine having a tiny pet dragon in real life. It would be adorable. For a quick second, I want to mention a couple of things not to do with the drawing. The first one is that YouTube keeps turning off comments, which is pretty annoying, so if you see them turned off, then come back later and I'll probably have put them on again. But yeah, that's the reason for that. It's not me turning them off. The other thing is more exciting news, which is that I'm planning on drawing some of your original characters. That will probably be for tomorrow's video or next week's, or even both, so make sure to email them to me if you want them to have a chance of being drawn in the video, and I'll have my email in the description. Now Ivy Ray and Fern are done, and they just look so cute together. The fact that it's pretty much all green except the top, which is purple, so I decided to bring some more purple in by adding a little background, just added some circles. That's what I do pretty much all of the time, especially when I'm doing a whole page like this and I want to fill it up and not just have drawings in the middle, so I adding these little circles or whatever shape you want behind it can definitely help to fill the page and make it more interesting. Moving on to this character, which I named Pip Mellow. I have no idea how I thought of that name, but it suits her surprisingly well. I remember that when I first drew these two girls, I intended for Pip Mellow to be more of the main character in whatever story they have going on, and Ivy Ray was supposed to be like the side best friend character. But now that I'm drawing them again, I feel like they would both have equal importance in their story because I feel kind of bad for Ivy, honestly. Does anyone else ever feel bad for their drawings when you don't do them justice, or is that just me? Probably. Another kind of odd thing that I do is when I'm drawing a face, I always end up copying the expression of the character in real life. So if I'm drawing a smile, I'll end up smiling at my drawing and I have no idea why. I feel like that might be a common thing. I don't know, let me know if you guys do that too, because I feel like when people see me drawing, they're probably kind of confused why I'm looking so weirdly at the paper, but yeah, that's why. Pip's original hair was red, pink, and purple, and all of the colours were pretty bright. That's definitely not my favourite colour combo, so I decided to switch it up just a bit. In 2019, I only had a set of 12 Crayola markers, so I didn't really have much choice of colour, but now I do, so I'm going to take advantage of that. I went with a light yellow, pink, and purple, so I just swapped out the red for yellow, and I like it a lot better. I also decided on blue for the skin because nothing else felt like it would work. I was going to do pink, but I felt like it'd just make her look like a sunburnt human, and I thought about yellow too, but I ruled that out when I realised she'd always remind me of a Lego man. Blue complements these colours nicely, and I'm glad that's what I chose. I also gave her elf ears just to add to the whole magical vibe. It would have been nice to add some pointy ears on Ivy that stuck out of her hair, but I didn't think of it until it was too late. It's fine though, I'll just imagine she has them under her hair. Pip Mellow has this hair that sticks upwards into a point, and it's got some flowers and stars and white pearls in it. It's kind of odd, but maybe that's just what the trend is in their world. When I brought out the white gel pen, I spontaneously decided to draw some blob-like shaped highlights in her hair, and I'm not sure why, but I'm obsessed with how it looks. It makes the hair look kind of like jelly or something, but it's not a problem because clearly her hair isn't like ours because it literally defies gravity. I was talking about Pip for so long that we've almost forgotten her little dragon, whose name was originally Raisin, but I thought about it and it was just a bit too random. It didn't relate to anything, so I changed it to Bud, which still isn't super relevant, but Pip does have flowers in her hair, so that's where the idea came from, you know, buds, flowers, yeah. I was tempted to make this dragon blue, like Pip's skin, but the original drawing had a pink dragon and I felt like that would be straying a bit too far from the original. Instead, I used my indecisiveness and ended up using all the colours that I used on Pip: pink, yellow, purple, and blue. And I used the lighter version of each colour so that they blend together easily. Then after that, it was looking a little bit muddy, so I went with my white gel pen, added the highlights. I did the same square highlights, but it didn't really give the same effect. It looks more like an abstract pattern than highlights that give it the jelly quality, but I still like it. I don't know what else I'd do instead of those highlights. While I was colouring Bud, I went back to add some freckles to Pip. That was not part of the plan, but my hand ended up smudging across her face while I was drawing, and there were some small yellow splotches, and the only way I could think to fix it was by adding freckles. It looks fine though. And there we have it, the page is done. I can confidently say that my favourite one of the dragons is Fern, but I'm pretty torn between the two girls, so let me know which one is your favourite. Here's the comparison of the original, and I definitely like the new version better. And here's some footage of the final product, which is obnoxiously long. So yeah, we have quite a while to wait until shoutouts. So you can admire all the close-up details, you can see all the mistakes. But yeah, I pretty much love how this drawings turned out. I love the whole page as a whole, and finally we have shoutouts and a piece of fan art that I got from Beatrice. Thank you and bye!